give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Welcome back to Wind Tunnel TV. Tonight it's the RGR Winston Xfinity Series and the Unsung Heroes 200. I'm Dean Doucette. He's Jared Carr. Jared, we're at Charlotte here tonight.
Yeah, for the road course, Dean. I mean, it's going to be an interesting track, and these guys are going to have to really be patient. Oh, sorry, for the oval. I mean, sorry. No road course here tonight. I apologize. But you know, it's going to be a great race. I think these guys are going to be all over the track, going to be able to rip it and make some moves here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Car is a little tight here tonight. Loose off because of that left rear tire. So that's going to be interesting to see who handles it. You're going to have to really woe these things down in the center of the corner. We'll see who has the patience to get that done. We'll get to our championship standings here in a second.
Yeah, that championship race really coming down to it right now too, Dean.
Yeah, we got
with just a handful of races left.
Our overall is our tightest. So we're over 30 races into this season. It's Ratliff and Ripka separated by 3 points. Wrecker's in it, Leal's in it. There is, you know, other people like Newton, Bruce, Spear are still kicking around. Well, let's check in on our second half points championship, which is another thing we're running here. And Ripka is leading that one. Now, this one, he's got a little bit better lead over James Abear, Greg Ratliff in third. You got Rachel Hunt sitting in fourth with George Leal, Wrecker, Bruce, Newton, and Ratliff, your top 8. So some interesting battles to be had here tonight.
Yeah, and you know, you think about it, Dean, you would think that the 30 race season would be a massive point gap, but it's the second half dash that's the massive point gap. It's really impressive that after I think 32 races, we're only separated by 3 points.
It's amazing. It truly is. And I think you're going to see an amazing event here tonight. So it's going to be very interesting. A bit of a long race. Who's going to manage their stuff, manage their tires? It's going to come down to some green flag stops. And expect a couple of wrecks here tonight from people overdriving the car, going to push up in the center, Jared. I mean, we've seen this over and over. People think this is a loose car. No, this is a tight car with a snap-off condition.
Yeah, it is. And the other thing, too, Dean, you know, I'm watching practice, and the pit road entry is so difficult at this track because it's really flat on entry there, and you have to slow down so suddenly, and there's no real good way to get off the track before you slow down, right? So I think we're going to see a lot of wrecks and issues happen there with guys, you know, maybe not calling it out soon enough or people not hearing it, and we could have some issues getting on and off pit road here tonight.
Oh, certainly we could. We've seen it. We've seen how important it is. It keeps happening. Right now, let's get into tonight's starting grid. It's Jeff Ward out here with a time of 30.253. Absolutely dominant pole here for the 89. Klaus Williams will start in second. It's row 2 is Jason Martin and Jason Spear. Row 3 will be Adam Wrecker and Eric Beller. Jason Jackson starts 7th with TJ Bartel in 8th position. You have Darren Bruce and Tony Ratliff. That's your top 10. Greg Ratliff, Rachel Hunt round out your top 12. Look a little further back here. We got Jason Ratliff and Paul K. Travis. In row number 8, it's Whitford and Ripka. Row 9, Musial and Helm. Row 10, Leal and Hardy. You look a little further back, and you got Kane, Knight, Spear, Person. And beyond that, you got Olson, Reiner, Williams, Hartwig, Bray, Whiting, Kulikowski, Connolly, Dibble, Gilly out here, and I believe that might be it. It is it. A nice big 34 car field here tonight.
Yeah, it's a huge field, and Dean, I think that's going to make it a much bigger race than maybe you can anticipate, is because you're going to deal with lap traffic tonight, and that's going to be really difficult to get through at this track because it can be very difficult to pass.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be all kinds of different strategies going on, lap traffic, you're right. A lot of things can go wrong here at this track. We'll see how they handle them. Right now, though, Ward with that impressive lap, I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not that surprised. I see some guys taking some wonky lines around here. We're going to find out who can hold that bottom and run that bottom here tonight, Jared.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think we'll find out pretty quickly.
We will indeed find out very quickly. Ward out front, Williams beside him. The Jasons are behind our front row. We're ready to go racing in the Unsung Heroes 200.
Green flag, green flag.
Good start there for Ward on the inside as they head off into turn number 1.
Pretty impressed with the high line. Actually, Williams hanging in there, trying to hold off Jason Martin. Martin down low, pushing on through. I think he'll come through and grab that spot. So put Jason Martin up to second. Williams will try and fill in that hole, or will he? He loves that high side, Jared.
Yeah, he's running right up against the wall. He's going to slide in front of Jason Spear, it looks like here.
All right, so they get that sorted out. A little further back, he got TJ Bartel is taken to the high side. And this is something that can work here, Jared, but how successful is it really in the long run?
Well, I think the high side is really good, but the problem with it is it can really heat up those tires in a way that makes it difficult to handle as the run goes on.
Yeah, I agree with that. I probably exasperate that left rear issue that you're getting out here. Jason Ratliff looks like he's got a new paint scheme. I like it. Little Smith & Wesson there. Don't get out of line, Jared.
Yeah, no, you don't want to.
Jason Martin just put down the fastest lap.
And look at Martin just get right up to the back of Ward, Dean, and that shows to me that Ward is taking this a little easy and Jason Martin ready to go.
Yeah, Martin's definitely ready to go, and I don't see anything wrong with this. Ran some laps myself the other night, ran it pretty hard and had better wear than a lot of guys, so I'm a little surprised at the wear dynamics here. I don't think backing up the corner is the way to go tonight, Jared.
Yeah, this track, I meant to look, Dean, and it looks like, we got 83, partly cloudy, 96 track temp. I mean, that's a cold track, and that means, in my experience, at some of the other tracks, you don't full lift, and it is probably going to be one of those really, really hot racetracks by the end of these runs.
Yeah, it might change quite dramatically through these runs. Right now, though, Martin is stalking Ward. Jason Spear has moved up into third place. Watch out for Spear. I know he loves Charlotte. Give him a little track position, which he has. He could be dangerous here tonight. Williams and Wrecker battling back here, too.
Martin just trying to find some clean air on the nose. Here he goes. He's taking the look. He's going to get underneath Ward in 1, and Ward's going to let him go on by.
Yeah, Ward had enough. Ward's like, you're making me run too hard. You just go ahead. And that's the whole point of being the rabbit, isn't it, Jared? I mean, you want to push people beyond what they want to do.
Yeah, but, and that's fair. But, I think, and I've said this to a lot of guys that I've worked with that are kind of, younger, is you have, there's going to be people that push the pace. But sometimes it's best to just let those guys go, especially in a pack that's a little bit more spread out than this pack is. Let people go and try to get back to them, because you don't want to burn your stuff off or run past your means either.
Yeah, I mean, I remember racing with a guy that I used to consistently let go and run down there.
I don't know who that is.
It was a guy. He's not the same guy anymore. But,
okay.
He resembles you a lot.
Interesting. Yeah, I'd have to meet him. I guess.
But it is a lesson that everybody has to learn, isn't it?
It is, and it's easier said than done, right? It's your brain wants to go hard and go fast all the time, and the way this car and these tracks work now, you do have to go harder and faster than you've ever gone before. It is definitely not a conservative game anymore like it used to be, but that doesn't mean you can go all out 100% every lap either.
No, controlled aggression, I like to call it.
Absolutely.
Back a little further back, Helm underneath of Tony Ratliff, or that is actually Ripka. Helm's already gone through, so Ripka trying to go through as well. And the thing, it's odd to see Ripka at the back a lot. Greg Ratliff also has been, he's currently in 8th. It seems like they haven't agreed with this newer build as much.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and I've struggled with it myself, is, the car, it just feels very sealed and very in the racetrack, or on top of the racetrack, not in the racetrack. And it makes it really difficult to kind of get a feel on the race car. And at the same time, it just feels like tires just don't wear or don't respond to heat like they used to.
Yeah, we'll see how it all plays out. Right now, Jason Martin leading in that beautiful wind tunnel TV car. How about that? We got our logos out here in the lead, Jared.
Yeah, I mean, you can't hate that. I mean, I'm trying to remain unbiased here, but I like it.
I like it a lot. Beautiful looking machine. Those logos are so pretty. Nonetheless, Ward in second. Spear and the group are already running these guys down. So this is where it gets interesting here. We're only on a lap 11, and it looks like the Spear leading this group, they're all a little faster than our front two.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, is these tires are starting to come back to these guys just a little bit as this run has gone on. I think Spear is pretty good at saving his stuff on the long run, right? And you see a little bit of an action there. Looks like Wrecker going to get challenged here.
Yeah, Bruce coming underneath. So Darren Bruce on the move. Should be another good track for Darren Bruce as well. 1.5 miles. I mean, he's pretty golden at these 1.5 miles.
Yeah, new paint from Darren. I think you mentioned that at the top of the broadcast. It took me by surprise.
Yeah, we're going to zoomed in look here. The old Screaming Eagles on the side there. That's my personal team there, Jared.
Oh, more promotion for Dean Doucette. It's Dean Doucette promotion night on RGR.
We took over, what is it? Is it November? Is it October? I don't know where we are.
Mid-October, I think.
Yeah, well, we're taking over October. As Jeff Ward begins to reel back in Jason Merton here. I mean, he didn't let him go much, but he's closing in. So this is where it gets tricky for Merton, right? Like, how much do you manage this machine from out front there?
Well, I think you have to just run your race, right? You've got the track position. You always want to be in clean air. You always want to be in clean air. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I think with him being up front, he can kind of control the pace too, right? He doesn't have to be pressured by it. And if somebody gets to him, let him go, but make him earn it at the same time.
You see everybody fanning out there as we looking on Wrecker and Williams, Beller in the mix here, and they're all taking different lines. Is this something they should be doing, Jared? Trying to get air on that car, or should there be a standard line that they're following here?
No, you definitely want to get air on the car, and you see right there, Jason Spear didn't get down to the bottom, and that's going to open up the door for Wrecker. Try to get to the outside of him. I thought he was going to be able to, and he didn't. But you definitely want to get air on the nose, and even if it means running high, the high line does come in. I would probably not go up there to like lap 25, but you see Ward going around the outside of Martin.
Yeah, he made that move. I mean, and what I found is you can use it, especially in 1 and 2 for passing, because those guys on the bottom will push up. They'll have to lift if you get to their outside. So it's twofold, Jared. It's not that it's necessarily faster. It's that you're slowing the guy down on the bottom that much more.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there is some speed there. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, you're exactly correct. There is a lot to be desired from pinching somebody down. You see right now, Jason Martin, that car is kind of going away from him as Darren Bruce looks on the inside.
Yeah, Bruce is going to take over this spot, no doubt about it. Darren Bruce moving on up. He's already up 6, making 7 spots as he passes Jason Merton, takes over second place. So Ward leading, Bruce chasing. Those two are going to be dangerous all night. And of course, Spear continues to linger with this group with Recker, Williams, Beller, Ratliff, Bartel, Jason Jackson in the top 10.
Yeah, these guys haven't really separated back in this secondary pack, have they, Dean? It's really been tight back there, and it continues to be tight.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're all feeling it out right now, trying to figure it out, figure out their strategy. You know, I don't know how much the gas tank can hold here, Jared, but I'm going to guess somewhere under 40 laps here tonight.
Yeah, I think that would be about right. I mean, normally with a 100% tank, you're looking about 53 on most mile-and-a-half tracks. It's been a while since I've ran Charlotte 1.5 miler, but I think that's probably about right. So 75%, you're probably looking at like 42, I would say, somewhere in that range.
So Recker's moved up the track, and he's getting big runs up there. This is something you can do. You talked about it. As someone heads down pit lane, that's Stevie Knight with the car smoking. Heavy damage on that thing. The 86 will be parking it for the evening.
I didn't see anything come up on my screen for any kind of incident, so unsure what happened to Stevie Knight, but tough break for him.
It is, and Recker has cleared Jason Spears, so put Adam Recker up to 4th.
And look at this group. We got somebody there, Dean, going on the outside.
That's TJ.
Way back at that. Yeah, TJ Bartel.
Yeah, Bartel, he does like the high side. I can still remember a race, I don't know, 6-7 years ago, Jared. TJ shocked me at Texas by running the high line. Absolutely destroyed me. It put me in the fetal position for a couple of days.
Well, there you go. There you have it, Dean, in the fetal position.
Sucking my thumb and wondering what happened out there. And he looks like he's doing it again, getting some big runs. Is this sustainable, Jared?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, I think that, you're at that point in time in the race where the car is definitely started, the different lines are starting to come together. Oh, my goodness, Greg Ratliff nearly got in the side of Eric Beller there, Dean, deeper than a pack. Oh, and Jason Spears loose off turn 2.
Yeah, and he'll keep some speed, but not enough to hold off Beller. Beller goes on through. So Spears starting to have handling issues. TJ on the high side will go right around him. Very interesting. Back up front, Ward. 1 second gap back to Bruce. Merton seems to have stabilized in 3rd. Recker's moved up to 4th, and Claus Williams running the middle of the track now, looking strong in 5th.
These guys back here battling. This is where the part in the run, Dean, lap 20, somewhere around lap 20, the cars just start, and Jason Spear really struggling. Jason Jackson on the outside of him, and that car has started to fall apart on Jason Spear, it looks like.
Yeah, it's a little strange because I know he was kind of milking it, but that doesn't seem to work here anymore. You got to drive in a little harder than you think.
Yeah, you absolutely do. You absolutely do. The game has changed, Dean, over the last year or two. It is definitely a lot different, and it's hard to adapt to that when you're used to driving a certain way, saving your stuff, running off the right front a little bit. Now it's all right rear, and there's nothing that's the only way you can drive it right now.
So Bartel made the pass on the high side. Now Ratliff has passed him. Ratliff was on the low side. So I think what we're seeing, Jared, is maybe switching lines might be the way to go. I mean, it doesn't seem like you can run one line forever.
Yeah, you can, and that's the smartest way to do it is you just switch around the lines and you get the different heat on the tires in different areas.
You can see now Bruce got by Jason Merton, but Merton's hanging with him now, and here comes Recker. So things are changing and evolving so quickly here tonight. I mean, I don't even know what these guys have figured out other than maybe they're still confused.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think the track is just changing, right? I think there is a lot of heat being put down that low line, and it's really difficult to kind of have that happen as the run goes on, because it just makes it so difficult to drive the bottom the entire time.
A little further back, you see Leal pushing up and pushing Helm up to the high side. He'll make that pass. Behind him, watch out, Bryce Reiner coming through as he usually does. He's up 9 spots, starting towards the back again tonight. So Reiner, he always makes it interesting here.
Yeah, he does, and he's moving through the pack as well tonight, just like he has been. But I'm just watching these battles all through the field. I mean, Eric Beller, we haven't talked a lot about him. He's moved up quite a bit too, Dean. I mean, he did start in 6th, but he dropped back into the out of the top 10. He's starting to come forward. So I think Eric Beller kind of saving his stuff, a guy we could watch for the end of this race.
Well, yeah, as you say that, of course he gets past. Williams goes by, and there goes Ratliff going by. So Ratliff on the move, and we know how good he can be at these 1.5 miles. Looks like he's finding his way. Bartel starting to come back. Yeah, Jason Ratliff, he's up 4 spots. He's looking sharp tonight.
Yeah, and you know, I'm just kind of looking at these drivers, just kind of looking through the field, and you know, I'm watching, you know, Ratliff. He is moving around the track quite a bit as he continues to move forward. But Dean, you know, I don't think, and I'd be remiss, Lance Ripka not in the field tonight, or no, he is. He has not moved up at all. I mean, he has started 16th and he's in 14th. Ratliff started 11th and is already up to 6th position. Oh, Ratliff! Oh, Ripka's almost wrecking on the front straightaway. Almost got down there on the AstroTurf. He's still out of control.
And he's going to lose some spots for that. That's something I noticed last night doing some practice here, is the car will get out of shape if you try through the tri-oval to hold it down too much. You got to let that car be free.
Yeah, that was, I just happened to look at him, and he just got real loose off turn 4. He lost 3 spots in that exchange, Dean.
Yeah, he's definitely not liking this newest build. See Paul K. Travis, Leal has gotten by him, so George Leal's up 6. In front of him, Whitford up 3 right now. There's Jackson and Spear, they're both hemorrhaging spots. In front of them, you got Jason Ratliff, he's up 4. TJ is right where he started. So lots going on here, no doubt.
Well, you know, you look at up front, I mean, we have basically Jeff Ward opening up a really big gap on 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And 2nd, 3rd, and 4th are quite a ways ahead of the rest of the field. I mean, we have a battle. Klaus Williams under heat from Greg Ratliff right now.
Yeah, Greg, the only one who seems to be moving right now, and he's got his work cut out for him here, trying to get underneath Adam Recker. He pushes up on entry. This is something we've seen from Ratliff before. Even when he's got a car above him, he'll take a higher entry.
Yeah, absolutely. Klaus has kind of been running the high side the entire race, and I just wonder if maybe that car is kind of going away just a little bit.
It seems like it. I think the bottom is the place to be for a whole run, but, you know, I don't know that for certain.
These guys continue to race really hard, really well. I mean, it's been a great race so far with the amount of cars we've had, and we haven't quite got to the lap traffic yet. Trying to see who the last car is on the lead lap here. Oh, we got Kulikowski up in the wall. It's back in 30th. So Mickey Spear 31st. So Jeff Ward's going to catch him probably in the next 10 laps, but then there's still quite a bit of gap to the rest of the field.
We should have pit stops before that. Now, Jared, what do you want to do? You want to be first in here? I mean, after what you've seen, you want fresh tires? What do you want?
If I'm Jeff Ward, I'm controlling the field, right? We got Jason Jackson. He's coming in, Dean. And we got somebody else following red car. Couldn't tell who it is. I switched off of it.
Brian Helm. So Helm in with Jackson here as pit stops begin on lap 35 of 134.
And that's what I was going to say, Dean. If I'm in the middle of this gaggle of cars, anywhere from Greg Ratliff all the way back to Kulikowski in 30th, where you're pretty much separated by 2 seconds, I would be pitting early. I would undercut the guys and then save my stuff and hold them off at the end of the run. if I'm Jeff Ward or Jason Martin, who's in fourth, and that kind of broken out pack there at the front of the field, I would try to stay out as long as I could and have those fresher tires on the second run.
Yeah, I mean, these guys back in this 10th through 20th area that are all together, basically, I don't want anything to do with them, Jared. So I'm either pitting early or late. Take your choice.
Yeah, and I think early is a good spot if you feel like you can get back to the position you were in without a caution coming out. If you feel like the race is going to go green, early is good. As long as the key to pitting early, and I tell this to guys I'm working with all the time, you cannot drive hard if you pit early. You have to drive easy if you pit early, because by the time the tires equalize, those guys on fresher tires are going to blow by you. That time difference you've made up is irrelevant. So if you pit early, you got to manage your stuff. If you pit late, you got to go like hell the whole time.
Speaking of going like hell, Brace Reiner on the outside of Ripka. Reiner now up 12 spots, looking for 13. Right behind him, Edward Kane, he's up 6, and Olsen up 9. So we got some guys at the back here starting to make some moves.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, man, I am kind of surprised, Dean, at how much it has been a struggle for Lance Ripka here tonight. I mean, it has been just not a race that he has enjoyed at all so far.
Yeah, Ripka in the 52, not liking it that much by the looks of it, but you can never count him out. He'll learn as we go here, and he'll figure it out. He's that kind of driver. Look a little further up there, Beller. There's Martin. There's Wrecker and Bruce.
Somebody almost went down through the road course. I think that was Derek Whitford. Yeah, he just about went down through the chicane down there. He got so loose off 4.
All right, so Whitford had a little issue there.
Tell you what's impressive, though, Dean, and it's not a surprise, right? I mean, Jeff Ward has just opened up this race. But what's impressive to me is Adam Recker. He is right here on the back end of Darren Bruce, and that car looks like it's come in for him here as this run has gone on, and he's able to get right to Darren Bruce. He's caught up to Darren, and I just wonder, Recker is the only guy in the top 5 in points that has yet to win. His best finish is second place. Could tonight be the night? I mean, I think it's going to be hard to beat Ward, but we've seen things happen. This race isn't over till it's over. Wrecker really showing me something here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Wrecker, it's a matter of time because he's putting himself in position a lot. Jason Martin takes the pit road. So Martin, who raced up to the lead, his stuff wore out a little bit, but he stayed in the top 5. All in all, a good run. He's in.
There you go.
There's Jeff Ward. What a lead he has. And he's opening it up more and more right now, so I don't expect him in. Bruce, I do. I think Bruce should be coming in and coming in sooner than later, but he's not gonna. Him and Wrecker stay out. Looks like Ratliff's gonna come in. So Greg Ratliff comes in. I love this move. He's gonna try and pick up some positions. Whitford, Reiner, Olsen, Hunt, all on pit road.
Excuse me there. I about choked on a mint.
Well, I hope you're okay.
I'm good. I wouldn't. I'd still be out here broadcasting if I was choking to death.
Wasn't there a sitcom who did that once? I'm not sure. I know there was a mint in the belly in the operation table.
There you go. Yeah.
So Wrecker makes the move now on Bruce. He will clear him. So put Wrecker up to second. Jason Ratliff hits pit road. Jamie Bray comes in behind him. Right
3
now,
wide back there.
Ward is running a 32.42, much faster than anybody else on the track. So Ward's got to be loving this.
Well, the other thing I was going to say, Dean, is these guys on fresh tires are coming through so quick. The closing rate is so quick on the guys with old tires right now. This is where you don't like to see it if you're leading the race, because this is where accidents kind of can start to happen.
So Ward, our leader, comes in. Ripka is in. Ricky Williams is in. Ricky usually stays out to the end. And this is very interesting, Jared, because as Adam Wrecker takes the lead, we're on lap 44 of 134, and I think 45 is kind of where, and here comes
Wrecker and Bruce are in.
Oh, and Wrecker locking him up a little.
Yeah, Mickey Spear actually wrecked coming onto pit road. I thought maybe he would be in the way of those guys coming on pit road, but it looks like he was able to get to his pit box.
We're seeing a lot of people with that funky setup. You know, they're getting sideways under heavy braking on entry.
So there you go. Everybody on pit road. I think that's going to turn the lead over to maybe Beller. Is he still out there? Yes, he is. Beller and Klaus Williams still out there. Edward Kane's still here.
So what I'm seeing, Jared, is everybody trying to make it to a fuel point. But Beller now and Williams, they have crossed the threshold. You want to go 45, 45, 44, if I'm not mistaken. And, you know, some of these guys did not complete even 44 laps. So they may be in trouble fuel mileage-wise.
Yeah, I think that's going to be interesting. I think that's a really good point is, you know, how this race is going to transpire. It's 134 laps. So you're exactly right. 45 was your threshold number. A lot of these guys short pitted that out. And unless the fuel, there's more fuel or they're getting better mileage, I don't think they could do 50 laps on 75% fuel in this car.
So Jason Jackson out front, Hellman second now. They both got a pit. Looks like Jason Martin's there with them. I think he has pitted.
So that's your battle for lead. Yeah, so Ward
it looks like all these guys have pitted, but the first two pitted on lap 34, Jared.
Yeah, and here we go. So Jason Martin on those newer tires is going to go underneath Brian Helm. Jeff Ward on the newest tires of this group, he's going to catch up to these guys in a hurry. And so the overcut is going to be the powerful play here. It looks like if Ward is able to catch up to these guys and make a move sooner than later.
So let's take this out. So if these guys pitted on lap 34, are they going for the 3-stopper versus a 2-stop or four stops versus 3 or whatever I'm trying to say, Jared?
Yeah, 3 versus 2. I mean, unless they stretch out their second run, which I don't think would be very effective because you'd have to do 50 laps on your second run. These guys are looking at the 3-stopper today, Dean, and I think that's a great call because the fall off is about 2 seconds. So if you can keep that fall off from going that deep, I think that could be the play, but it's going to be tough for these guys to make it work.
It is. I mean, my general theory is 3 can beat 2, but you need a track where the drop-off continues through the whole run. If they stabilize, say at lap 25, it just doesn't work.
And that's what Charlotte is, right? I mean, so Jeff Ward, you look at his first run, 30.65 on lap 2, and he got down to a 32.2 on lap 24, but by the time he pitted, he was running 32.4s. So right. For that 20-lap span, 17 laps in there, the car didn't change. So I think that the 3 – oh, we got a caution.
Caution on the track. What has happened? We're not seeing anything.
Oh, big wreck. Somebody's in the wall. That's Zach Hartwick.
Zach Hartwick has hit the wall. That was late. That was after the yellow, so we'll have to go in and see what happened here.
Those guys got to go hard.
So Hartwick and Paul K. Travis coming into the corner, and this contact. I mean, I don't know. He looks like Hartwick just tried to clear himself, but he wasn't clear, Jared.
Yeah, it looked like that. That's exactly what it looks like. I don't think Paul. Yeah, Paul held his line. So yeah, that's a weird one to me. If that was the cause of the wreck, you were saying there might have been another wreck.
I think it just showed up late on my system. This is it. But yeah, I mean, I think he was clear for a moment in time, but that was just someone come through that wreck. Unbelievable how they come through there. Full speed, of course, but made it through.
Oh, Jason Martin late on pit road there, but this is great. This is going to work out great for the guys that pitted early. Brian Helm, Jason Jackson, they got tremendous field position, Dean. I mean, it is unbelievable. Bryce Reiner, great field position. These Scott Olson, 25th, I mean, up to 11th because of these early pits, and now we get to see what they can do on fresh tires on equal playing field.
Yeah, so this all works out great for them. Edward Kane's going to stay out on the track, him and the Toad Man. I don't think they'll stay out completely, but we'll have to wait and find out. Ricky Williams still out there.
Edward Kane only has 6 laps on his tires, so, I mean, it's not the worst call I've ever seen. You get another caution or something like that. I mean, it could play out for you, but I probably would have come in and taken the tires.
Yeah, it'd
So we'll
be
see what happens.
dangerous for Kane, Gilly, and Williams to stay out. I don't think that's their plan, but if it isn't their plan, I don't know what their plan is. A pit on the second lap here?
Yeah, I would assume so. Yeah.
Very interesting turn of events. Ward was dominant, but now finds himself in 5th position. Now, it's going to shake out where that might be as good as 2nd position. I'm not even sure how Ward did that. I thought a couple of guys beat him off of pit road, but apparently not. Great stop by the 89.
Yeah, really good stop. We got somebody coming in. Yeah, so Edward Kane looks like he's staying out. We did have one guy coming in, Dean, but that's it. Zach Hartwick there.
Yeah, pit road. Okay, so Kane, Gilly, and Williams. Let's see our pit board here. You're looking on lap 45 for the front two, and Williams on 43. They're going to stay out. Jared, this just isn't going to work.
I don't think it's going to work in the short term, but I think it could work in the long term. If you think this race is going to have some cautions on the back end, and if you're able to save a set of tires, that's going to be massive in this race. But you're going to drop like a rock, no question about it, in this early run. But I like this move.
I mean, if you take the tote, man, he's up 32 spots, Jared, so he'd have to drop a bunch to get back to there.
Yeah, and I think he probably will. I don't think he's going to drop to 32nd, but I think that he is going to drop back further than where he is running. But if you get a caution late in this race and you have that extra set of tires, I mean, that is like gold. That is a gold mine for you. You can just pick your way through the field really easily. I've done it before. I've seen it done before if you're able to save a set.
So what about the Jason Martin here? Now he's in front of Ward. So if he can clear these cars that have old tires on them, does he save? Like, he had to work on Ward for a while. How much did that hurt him? How much is this going to help him? Can he get out to a big lead here?
Well, he's got to conserve, right? I think he went so aggressive on Ward, got to the lead, and then used his stuff up there. So we're going to have 3 cars. Kulikowski's going to be a wave-around car, so he's going to be out of the picture. So Kane, so let's see here. Martin's going to be lined up on the outside behind Ricky Williams, who has the oldest tires. Or no, he's going to be on the outside behind Todd Gilly. So I think that, you know, the big thing for him is he's going to have to get himself in a good position. He's got a little confusion up front there. Everybody gets in line now. But the thing is, it's all going to be about, can he stay in front of Ward, and what kind of moves is he willing to make to kind of get around these guys?
How about Edward Kane out here sponsoring a couple of cars? Finds himself on the point. The 21, your race leader right now. And this is always interesting, Jared. You get guys up front aren't used to being up there. How do they handle this situation?
Yeah, and that's going to be the key, is how they're going to handle it and how the guys behind it feel about them being in front of them, right? Like, they might not have raced around them a lot, and it's going to be interesting to see how they attack this situation.
Very interesting indeed. Kane and Gilly, Williams and Martin. So Martin's got to hope that Gilly gets a good start on that high side. These lines are going to move at different rates. It's going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah, I think this is going to be hair raising, and this is where I talk about, you know, cautions breed cautions, Dean. Pace cars off.
All right, Kane and Gilly leading them down. A fairly mundane start there. Good start by Kane, actually. He jumps out there. Ricky Williams trying to follow him through. Ward gets through Martin, who had a terrible start on the high side.
Martin did not get going whatsoever there, and now he's lost out his advantage there, and he can't seem to get the car moving forward. Ward making a big move down the inside of Ricky Williams.
Yeah, Ward knows he wants to get through here in a hurry. Got to be careful. Kane doing a nice job here, getting himself out there to a bit of a lead. Martin finally coming through. He's bringing Bruce with him. Bruce in much better shape than he was at the start of the race.
Kane's doing a great job. I mean, those tires, I mean, he has a tire disadvantage. But
and they're wrecking. Big wreck at the back. Looks like the 4 is involved.
Ooh,
That's
Rachel Hunt,
Beller.
maybe.
Hunt gets a bad piece of that. So this will shake it up further. Let's get a replay on what happened. So you see Rachel, and it looked like he just got loose on the high side all by himself. The car broke. He had the slow turn down the track, and Rachel trying to avoid it late. Looks like Ripka gets into it, and then Rachel right into the driver's. Well, it opens up for Rachel, but the 26 comes in and closes that up.
Man, that's tough.
Jamie Bray there. He got a hard lick out of that. Tough wreck for these guys. Interesting decisions. Kane still your race leader. And Edward King going to come in and pit now. So ultimately, this could be a big advantage for him in the grand scheme of the race. Got a little fresher tires than everybody here.
Yeah, and I think that's gonna be key, that's gonna be crucial, and that's what I was talking about. If you can save that set, right, Dean? I mean,
absolutely. I mean, it's a great point. Tires are valuable here tonight, so
Ripke's on pit road. I don't know if he got a piece of that action or not there, Dean.
I think Ripke was involved with that incident. I don't think it's anything catastrophic. For you football fans, let's hope my Aiden Hutchinson isn't catastrophic either. Big win today over Dallas, Jared.
I'm kind of a surprising win. I have to think, Dean, if I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, you got to have a lot of questions, right, about your team.
You got a lot about your owner, about your coach.
About paying
everything.
Dak Prescott that kind of money. I just don't. Yeah, it's head scratching. But I'm not a Dallas fan by any means, so I don't hate it. As I'm sure a lot of America doesn't hate it. But at the end of the day, I mean, like, that's embarrassing. An embarrassing performance.
It was very embarrassing for them. Thrilling for me and my Detroit Lions. Let's get back to the race, though. Jeff Ward and Jason Martin out front. They'll resume their battle. Now they got Bruce and Helm behind them, along with Reiner and Jackson. I'm telling you, watch out for Reiner. Helm's up 14. Reiner's up 21 spots.
Yeah, and Dean, Edward Kane did save that set of tires. He's going to have a pretty good tire advantage on these guys, but the other thing he doesn't have is clean track, right? He's going to have to be patient trying to work his way through the field because he's going to come out, if I'm not mistaken, he's coming out in 24th position. So that's pretty far back.
Yeah, I mean, the tire play is one thing. He's got to be patient with it, right? I mean, we're on lap 58, so that is going to leave us with... 76 laps, Jared? I mean, you can feel the strain in my voice there from trying to do math again. But that's, 2 runs of 38 laps. It's better than what they were trying to do before. So take some of that. You said Ward stabilized from, say, lap 24 on. Now that gets shorter. There's only 12 laps of that now. So things have changed a little bit. But Ward and Martin, Bruce and Helm, Reiner and Jackson, Ratliff and Whitford, Wrecker and Jason Ratliff, your top 10. Peeking from the outside looking in, Scott Olson in that pretty there, and you can see he's got his cancer awareness colors going there. Sharp looking car. He's up 14, and George Leal hasn't been in all the races lately, but he's a threat to win each and every time he's out here.
Yeah, he is, and now the whole field is kind of shaken up a little bit, right? We had those caution that came out right at the end of the pit stops. Luckily, it had pretty much gotten cycled around, and at the end of the day, I think that this race is going to kind of take shape at this point, right? We're going to get to see who has really got the car to win this race and who's going to be competitive in this thing.
Oh, we're going to find out. I mean, we got all the heavy hitters moving towards the front now. So Ward, who's been the class of the field, he's going to be challenged here. And especially watch Martin, because Martin is not going to hold back. He's going to try and take this lead right away.
Yeah, and I don't blame him. You're gonna have to make a move, and you're gonna have to force Ward to drive a way that he doesn't want to drive. Because before, I mean, as we've talked about before, Ward is very good. He's very good at using and not abusing the right front. Right? He's one of the few guys that's able to paint that white line around the track, which is going to give him a tremendous advantage on tire wear. And these guys are going to have to race him and make him get off that bottom a little bit. So we got a little checkup on the back here of the grid, almost some contact.
We're here in the Unsung Heroes 200, ready to go back. Green flag racing. Ward and Martin, Bruce and Helm at the front. Ooh, and a checkup, playing games up front.
Ooh.
Lots of games, and they get it going, though.
Martin spun the tires because of that hard spin of the tires, almost wrecked it, and everybody else checked up behind him, but the top four are going to scoot away just a little bit.
Well, Bruce has come right to the bumper. Bruce down to the inside. He'll be looking for the race lead over Jeff Ward. Ward not even going to fight him. He'll fall in behind. Reiner and Martin also in here. Reiner clears Martin.
Yeah, now Jeff Ward's got some different challenges. He forces his way underneath them. We got a caution anyway.
Big wreck. Olsen involved. Several others. There's Claus Williams. Whiting's involved.
Still wrecking. Still wrecking. We got Buckshot Ripka with damage.
George see Whiting in the 13 here. Little wiggle in front of him. Oh, and there's a wreck up ahead. It's Williams and Olsen, and Whiting just drives into it. That's unfortunate.
And Tony Ratliff had something happen where it looked like he was through the wreck, and he just smacked the wall like Davey Allison did in 92, comes back across the track and smacks into poor George Dibble, who had nowhere to go. That was not part of the main wreck.
There we go. So Williams high, Olsen low, and Olsen just comes up a little too far. I mean, Williams is right against the wall, so there was just no more room for the 61.
And that all started, Dean, I think, really with that restart, right? I mean, the little checkup got everybody a little bit out of shape, and I think that kind of made everybody a little bit more, guarding of their position, if you will. And boy, a hard hit there for the 64 machine, just nowhere to go.
Several guys take to pit road. Hardy, Williams, Mickey Spear, Rachel Hunt. We'll get some work done on their machines. New race leader, the 15, Darren Bruce.
Yeah, now you got some different guys up here challenging Jeff Ward, and I think that's going to be crucial. Everything is kind of, as I said before, floating around, and the complexion of this race has changed dramatically over the past 10 laps.
Kulikowski gets another lucky dog, so I think he'll be back on the lead lap. But you're absolutely correct, Jared. I mean, this thing keeps flipping on its head, and they keep restarting. So guys like Reiner, who are exceptionally fast, find themselves here, in the battle. I don't think Ward wants to challenge guys like Reiner, guys like Martin or Bruce on the short run. He wants to get them on the long run. How will that play out now that our long runs keep getting shorter and shorter, Jared?
Yeah, I think that's going to be something we'll have to see how it plays out, right? I mean, I don't know if we know the answer to that question.
We absolutely do not. That's why we all got to stay tuned in here and watch the end of this thing. Brian Hellman fifth. There's Ratliff, Jason Jackson, Derek Whitford, Wrecker, Jason Ratliff, your top 10. So look for Bruce to try and open up a lead here and have him run him down. Look for Reiner and Martin to try and get around Ward right away. I think Ward probably should try to hang on to that spot, but I'm not sure he will.
Yeah, now this is a good reprieve, but the thing we have to also think about, Dean, we're not even at halfway yet, or we're right at halfway, I think. So there's still a lot left in this race to go. Actually, we're not halfway. 67 is halfway, so we still have half of the race to go.
See Joey Doucette out in the chat. He thought they were doing the Roval tonight. No, sir, I say, Joey.
Yeah. I'm just kind of looking through this field, and it's crazy to see, Bryce Reiner up 23 spots. We kind of touched on it. But what I'm interested to see is how these guys that were up at the front of the field get back up there, right? I mean, we had Jason Spear that was in the top 5 most of this race, Adam Recker that was in the top 3 most of this race, and they've kind of fallen back because of the cautions and then also because of the pits, right? The pit strategy. It's going to be interesting to see how these comers and goers look in this second round of this race if we can get some green flag action going.
Yeah, and it's going to get more intense, Jared, because you've got guys on different strategies and whatnot. The field's been shooken up so bad. I expect the racing to get more and more aggressive here.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I couldn't imagine it.
So everybody out in the chat, why don't you put in your unsung hero in the chat? As there are a ton of them these days, boy. A lot of people out there doing good in this world, and we need to start acknowledging them instead of highlighting the fools that run this stuff,
Absolutely. Can't disagree with that. Hard to.
Bruce and Ward, Reiner and Martin. We're approaching the halfway mark.
And keep an eye on Edward Kane, who has the freshest set of tires in the field back there in about row 9.
Okay, so Kane's worked his way to 15th. Here we go, back green flag racing. Bruce being patient, and a little check up again from Ward on the high side. Reiner's going to try and get underneath them. I think Reiner will take this spot 3-1.
Yeah, Ward didn't have a great start there. I don't know if he just thought he was rolling up in the box too soon, but he powers back on the outside. He's going to be able to clear Reiner on the outside.
Yeah, he's not having it. So Ward's adjusted here. He said, enough of this. I'm going to try and go to the front as he stalks Darren Bruce.
But look at how well he gets down to the white painted line, whereas Bruce was just a little bit off of it, and Ward's able to get that run off the corner because of it.
Yeah, he's definitely doing a nice job of getting down there. I love getting on the line here, especially in 1 and 2. I like to hook that inside there.
I like it in 3 and 4 a little bit better because the car had a tendency to have to be really tight there. And it really helps out if you're able to kind of get that car to turn somehow.
You see there, Bruce pushing the car, and I did push up a bit on him, so that's going to be troublesome as this moves along. Ward in second, Reiner right there. There's Helm in fourth. Martin, so status quo up front. A little further back, you got Whitford just slipped in front of Adam Recker.
Continuing to battle. But man, oh man.
Is back on the bottom. Adam Recker down low. Whitford up high. This is a battle for 8th position. Recker will win that battle. Here comes Jason Ratliff. So the high side not working early here for Whitford as he loses a couple of spots and slips back to 10th. Out front, Bruce still out there. He is opening up a lead about 10 car lengths now.
Everybody else single file. No one's really willing to. We got somebody coming up pit road. Damaged car looks like. So, but everybody's single file. Yeah, Nathan Hardy had that hard hit. Beller coming off pit road there, but everybody's single file now, trying to fill this thing out. I think everybody wants to get some green flag laps in here.
And do we hop on board with Brian Helm here? He's in the mix, sitting in 4th. He's up 14 spots. How about that, Jared?
Yeah, I mean, great run for him, right? I mean, and that's what I was talking about is like you have new faces up front, guys that I know that we know are good racers, guys like Bryce Reiner, guys like Brian Helm that have been kind of mired in traffic all night. They have this opportunity to be up front. What can they do at that track position? I guess we're going to find out here.
You see these guys down on that line through 1 and 2. We're still on board with Brian Helm. Let's watch him get through 3 here. You see there, just above that hash, he cuts her down. Everybody almost touching.
Yeah, late apex for Brian Helm, a little bit different line than I personally like to run. That's an older school line. Like, 3 or 4 years ago, that was the line, right? And now you have to get down to that white line so soon to kind of get that grip to work for you.
Yeah, I mean, I still believe there's some openings to do a couple of different things in 3 and 4, but generally what you're saying is obviously correct, right? Get it a lower entry, get down there, get to that line and hook it, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let that paint kind of loosen you up a little bit on exit.
Jason Martin running in 5th, and it looks like Jason's been kind of backed out from his early strategy, and he's trying a little bit more of a long run strategy here. Hard to say for certain. Martin in 6th, Jason Jackson, and the rest of them chasing.
Jeff Ward moved up to the top of the field, or top of the track.
So Ward tries to use the top there and get a little run. Nothing doing. He can't lose Reiner. Reiner showing great speed. The 14's going to be in this thing till the end if he doesn't blink out, which he just did. Bruce setting a torrid pace up front.
Ward is inching back in toward him, though, so I don't think this gap is going to be that way for too much longer.
No, it won't. You just can't run this hard at this track. I mean, if you're on the bottom, you can, but when you start seeing a guy in the middle of the track, that means he's, to me personally, he's overdriving just a bit here. And you got Ward way up in 1 and 2. That can work for a little bit.
Yeah, Ward's just trying to, I think, equalize the tire temperatures a little bit. Maybe he was feeling a little bit tight, move up, get a little bit more on the right rear a little bit, help that car turn a little bit on entry. Some more guys coming on pit road. I think that's a damaged car.
That's Eric Whiting coming in. He was involved in that wreck. Nowhere to go for him. He drove right into it. So as things settle down up front, we look a little further back. You got to go back to Edward Kane to find a good battle with Ricky Williams here right in front of him. Kane on the bottom. He's got the fresher tires, and I think you can see it in the center of the corner, Jared.
Yeah, you can. And, the other thing, too, is Edward has really been mired in traffic, right? And I'm kind of interested to see. I thought maybe he'd be able to make some moves a little bit quicker, but either he's being really conservative or the car is really difficult to drive in traffic even with those fresher tires.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit of both if I had to guess. Paul Kay was in a battle with TJ Bartel. Bartel moves around him, now falls in right behind Jason Spear, that battle for 12th.
And Jason Spear was the guy that qualified in the top 5 tonight, Dean, but has not really been able to make up any ground, kind of dropped off, hasn't been a factor like I thought he would tonight.
Well, again, I go back to the build, right? It's changed so much, Jared. I just don't. Us old timers have a hard time adjusting to new things.
Well, I wouldn't even say it's that. I think it's just not a way that you're used to running a car, right? It doesn't feel natural to drive the car like it used to, and I think that's hard to adjust to.
Yeah, that's a great point. Ricky Williams goes around Kane, so Ricky having a nice run. Up 12 spots into 15th. Check in with our race leader, Bruce. The lead coming down now to about a half second to Ward. Reiner's starting to fade a little bit. Martin's faded quite a bit back. Here comes Greg Ratliff underneath the helm. So Greg seems to have found his bearings out here, and if the 5 has found his way, he could get back in this thing.
And these guys back here right now, I mean, it's really this, like, you know, the top 3 have kind of stepped out to a gap, right? I mean, Bruce, Ward, and Bryce Reiner. And then you have the rest of the second group, which is led by Jason Martin, Greg Ratliff in there, Brian Helm in there, Jackson, Jason Ratliff, and Adam Recker with Whitford at the tail end of it. Then you kind of have some stragglers, and then you have a second group, which is led by Edward Kane and Buckshot Ripka, Ricky Williams in that group.
Yeah, Kane's starting to make his move here. He might have waited too long on those fresh tires. I'm not too sure, but he's starting to come forward, but Ricky Williams hanging tough on the outside.
Well, now, Dean, you know, you think about splitting this thing up. I mean, we went back to green on lap 59. Let's call it 60 just for some easy math. 134 is how many laps we had in this race. So 74. So 37 laps if you split in half. You know, do you start to think about coming in around lap 97 to finish this thing off? I mean, that's where I would be kind of looking at.
Yeah, I mean, you'd probably go a little longer than that if I was to be honest. Yeah, I mean, 97, that's a good number. I really don't know what I'd be doing out there, Jared. I'd be relying on my instincts or my spotter to kind of tell me. I mean, I don't know if I like the short pit here tonight. Ward back up in the high side in 1, trying to get a run. I think he did. He closes in, now down to 0.3 of a second. This battle heating up. A little surprised Reiner has fallen off, but he might have overdrove early. Martin still hanging on to 4th, but here comes Ratliff into the picture. Ratliff takes to the high side.
Yeah, Dean, I think that, you know, Ratliff is looking really strong here.
Ratliff is looking strong, but it's hard to pass. He's doing the right thing here, I think, going high. If he can get to the outside, he will make the pass. It's kind of how passes are done here with this model, right? You got to drive in on the high side of someone and not allow them to have the track to exit with.
Yeah, absolutely. Big battle back here. Brian Helm under pressure from Jason Jackson and Jason Ratliff here.
Yeah, Helm's got a whole line of cars here thinking about what to do with them. Helm trying to hold on. He's moved up the track. Way up by the wall goes to 46. And it's going to work for him for now. Up front, Ward has run down our race leader, but he's not quite in position to do anything yet. Back to Helm. Underneath him, Jason Jackson on the bottom. Pushing him is Tony Ratliff. Tony peeked to the middle there and said, no, I don't think I like my odds. Jason
Martin lets Greg Ratliff go. Greg Ratliff having a great night for points. I mean, he came in a little bit behind Ripka, but Ripka's running way back there in 15th position, has not gotten a feel for this track at all, and he's run out of time to get a feel. And Ratliff getting a point, stacking up a points lead heading out of this race tonight if he holds on.
This is the big one for Greg. If Greg can pull off a good finish, you'd be in prime position to win another championship. Helm has been holding off these chasers in Jackson, Tony Ratliff, Recker, Whitford, all these guys. I mean, they must be getting frustrated, but I like what Helm's doing. Ride that high side and hold them off.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, Helm is definitely the slowest car in this group because cars have been catching this group. And it was just Helm, Jackson, and Jason Ratliff, and now you've got Adam Recker in there. You've got Whitford. As you see Jason Jackson get around. George Leal is in this group. Guys have been catching up to this pack. And it's not like Helm's running slow.
Tony Ratliff is around. He's lost control, and I think he collected TJ Bartel. I'm not sure if that was him.
It was TJ Bartel, nowhere to go.
Let's get a look in on it here. So all that hard racing. Oh, and Leal came in and hit Ratliff and just ran him over. And TJ, nowhere to go, creams him from the inside line. Ugh.
Yeah, nothing TJ could do. He thought the car was going to wash up the track, and it didn't. It just kind of stalled there in the middle of the track, and it just nowhere for TJ to go.
I want to see from George Leal here what happened. I mean, you're going into the corner. He's been behind this pack the whole time. And it looks like Tony Ratliff just drove it in a lot softer than Leal. They're both braking. But Leal he tried to squeeze to the outside of him under power and just collected him. Very unfortunate for Tony Ratliff there and TJ Bartel. Pit stops happening. Everybody's coming in, so I don't think you'll see anybody stay out on the track. There's Ward and pit stop.
Oh, somebody. That was I was looking, Dean. It looks like Jason Martin missed his stall, had to back up, so he's going to lose time on pit road. And we also have Gilly, I think that struggled to get in his pit box.
All right, so some guys having some trouble on pit road here. Lap 89 of 134. That's going to leave us with around 45 laps here, which is around our fuel window. I don't think guys have that much of a problem making it from here. This could be exactly what Ward wants. He's got the lead, and now he's got the long run set up. And for you Sunday night football fans, it's all tied up. And I think Jared Carr might be tied up in knots right now.
No, I mean, I'm not. It's pretty expected for Cincinnati, so.
Living the life that I lived for 45 years as a Lions fan, Jared. It was a very frustrating experience.
Yeah, so anyway, this race tonight, getting down to it, Dean. I mean, kind of, we had a great long run, but once that caution came out, it's kind of been slow since that point, right? I mean, we've definitely slowed the pace down quite a bit. And you kind of look at it, you're wondering, who has this advantage? Because now I think everybody can make it from here, right? We only have 44 laps to go right now. I think we'll have 42 to go when we go back to green, or 43 to go when we go back to green, I should say. So I think that everybody can make it from here. So the pitting is out of the question at this point.
Yeah, I mean, really, you're just looking at caution, right? If a caution comes out, when does it come out? Who pits? Who doesn't? That type of thing. But I just want to realize that there would be no Bengals talk in the booth. Is that correct, Jared?
Yeah, I have nothing to say about Cincinnati now.
10-4. My apologies to the fans out there watching and to Mr. Carr himself.
No, you're enjoying it a little bit. Don't lie to the fans out here watching.
It's funny. I don't, because I know what the suffering feels like. But on the other hand, I'm not suffering right now, so it's nice. So Ward, Bruce, and Reiner. A little surprised at Reiner's last run. We'll see what he can do. We've seen what Bruce did, but Bruce lost a battle on pit road. How big is this for him, Jared? I mean, Ward again with that #1 stall having great pit stops.
Oh, it's absolutely huge. I mean, I think that's going to be the determining factor of this race is that getting on and off pit road, right? I think that's it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for Bruce to get back by him unless he puts him under big pressure.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if Ward lets him go here in the first couple laps. Ward's got a long run mentality. I mean, as do a lot of guys, but I mean, I think Bruce is willing to drive it a little harder than most. He'll take the lead and let you go long run hunting.
Yeah, absolutely. But now I think you're getting to this point where everybody's kind of got to go at this point, right? We don't have any more fuel mileage race or anything like that to go, or scheduled pit stops to go or anything like that. So it's go time for all these guys.
Yeah, and we've got the fast guys have made their way through these cautions and whatnot to the front. You got Reiner and Ratliff in row 2, Jackson and Helm in row 3, Leal and Wrecker in row 4, and Whitford and Martin in row 5. So they're all stacked up here. Someone's got to do something. I'm expecting someone to kind of come through here full tilt, and why not? I mean, there's been an average of a Wrecker run here, so I'm expecting one more, and why not go take the lead and see what happens? Pace car off the track. The Unsung Heroes 200, ready to go. Green flag racing one more time. Great start. Ratliff did not get going. Something happened to Greg Ratliff, wrong gear or a slow start. He backs up that top side. Jackson is through.
Everybody backed up there. Huge backup. And that's going to make guys slice around behind him.
We've seen a couple of bad restarts, and they're really, really costly here. Reiner through underneath of Bruce, but Bruce battling back on the high side, does not want to give it up. I don't blame him. Bruce going to drive right back around Reiner and go up there and look for the lead.
And Reiner got so loose on the bottom, he got too much down onto the apron on the left sides, and that car almost went around on him. Little contact further back. Whitford gets in the back of the Leo. Everybody gets through it fine, though.
So Bruce right up here challenging, same as last run. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes right on through here. Oh, and you can see he squeezes up in the middle, right to the bumper of Jeff Ward.
Ward's can't be looking in the mirror. He's got to be running his line. Here comes Bruce. He's going to make a move. He's going to duck in somewhere. He can't do it there.
Nothing doing. These top three under a blanket. Jason Jackson right in the mix. Behind him, it looks like Greg Ratliff had won that battle. Helm back to in front of a pack of cars again.
Unbelievable how this race is kind of switched up here as we continue on.
Leal moves underneath Adam Wrecker, so the 51 is starting to make his move. Can't do it though. Wrecker's strong on the high side. That high side good for about 10 or 15 laps, and then it seems to die out. Out front, Ward this time holding off Bruce. He says, no, I think I'll keep the lead this time. Bruce trying to have something to say about it. Got off the corner a little funky there, both of them.
Oh, Bruce he just sneaks that nose under there, makes Ward think about it entering the corner, and I think that's going to pay off for Bruce if he doesn't run his stuff off. Because this is going to be a long run here if we don't have a caution.
Yeah, it's going to be a full tank of gas or a three-quarter tank of gas run here, so it should be interesting. I think Bruce has kind of lost his opportunity. He should have got out here, well, probably trying to, on lap 1 of this run, but unable to get it done. Jackson lingering behind. Helm still in it, as is Greg Ratliff. Spears starts to make a move and thinks better of it, gets back in line.
Oh, Bruce got loose off turn 4. That's going to give a little bit of a gap advantage to Ward, but now Reiner's all over the back of him. And don't look now, but Jason Jackson is chasing down this top 3.
Yeah, Jason Jackson, the wild card here. He might have played his tire strategy correct here. Reiner with a big run, nothing to do though. Looks like he's just going to follow Bruce. And how much will that upset the car, Jared? Someone being on your rear.
Oh, it makes you loose. Makes you so loose. So loose because it takes all the rear downforce off of the machine.
And that's exactly what Bruce is trying to do with Ward right now.
Sorry, you know exactly what just happened. So
I wasn't sure, but that's a sneeze. God bless you, Jared.
It wasn't. It was not. It was a frustration sign.
Okay.
But anyway, these guys are racing hard, and we are down to 35 laps to go.
Yeah, it's getting down to it. Reiner moves up the track looking for a big run. Through 1, through 2. Does he have the run? I mean, it just doesn't look like it's happening for him up there.
No, it's not, and I'm surprised. I figured the outside groove would come in at some point, but it just has not come in this last run here.
And now
Reiner's
Ward,
there.
you can almost feel it that Ward's car just looks a little more hooked up on the bottom than these other two. I expect him to start pulling away here shortly.
Yeah, and these guys are going to have to turn up the wick a little bit to pressure Ward and try to make him move off that run because you're exactly right. He is going to open this lineup so much, and it's going to be really difficult for them to pass. Bruce is right on the back bumper. I mean, that has taken all the air off that rear end.
Yeah, these guys are really under a blanket here. What a battle out front. Ward, Bruce, and Reiner.
Reiner just is kind of, I think Reiner's the guy that at play here because I think he's letting Bruce work over Ward, so he's not using anything because he's not even really trying to get involved in this battle for the most part, Dean.
Yeah, you could be right. Pulling the KG vet move.
That's what I would be doing anyway. If I was in third position, I would let these two guys work each other over and then try to pounce.
I'm going to good old-fashioned brake check from the lead.
Well, I don't know if I'd do a brake check. I mean, that would be bad.
I don't know why it popped in my head there. These guys look so evenly matched. Every time I think Ward's going to go ahead or Bruce is going to make a pass, it doesn't happen. They're very even here. You see Bruce just pushing up a little bit there on exit.
Well, Ward, this is, Dean, you're a boxing guy. This is Ward absorbing the hits right now, right? He has the advantage. He just has to keep taking these hits. These cars are very bad in dirty air, and right now Darren Bruce is running right in the wake of the 89 machine. He's not moving up. He's not trying to get any clean air on it. He is running directly the same line. That eventually is going to cause that handling to go away on that machine, and when it does, Ward's going to open this up. He just has to absorb the body blows for now.
Yeah, I think you summed it up very well there. Ward has absorbed those blows. His cut man's, oh my goodness. Bruce just sends it in there. It sticks. A great entrance into one, brings him back into
Reiner
it.
in the wall.
And
Reiner hits
is
the wall.
grinding that wall, hurting that car. He falls back. It's really a two-car battle. Jeff Ward, Darren Bruce. Every time we count Bruce out, he does something special and stays in it.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I thought he was cooked, to be honest with you. I felt like he kind of used his stuff up there. But he's able to get such a good run to turn one. He just needs to utilize the outside line and just see if something works. He's not going to make this move work by running in the wake of the 89 machine.
Well, he's not. I mean, I have a tendency to do this myself, and it's more about trying to mess him up than it is what it's doing to me. I wonder if that's what Darren's trying to do. He's just trying to get that car loose, but the 89 hasn't even flinched.
Yeah, this is two prize fighters going head to head, and there's no flinching from either of them. They're throwing their best moves out right now, I feel like, and we still got 28 laps to go.
Yeah, long time to go in this one. These two continue to battle. Reiner in third, Jackson fourth. There's Helm holding off Greg Ratliff. You got Wrecker in seventh, Leal and Whitford, Spear in the top 10. Looks like Ratliff finally going to get around Brian Helm. So put Greg Ratliff in fifth.
What a race that's going on
man.
up here.
I mean, it's crazy. Can't get away from it. It's too good up here.
Well, Bruce doing a little bit of a late apex there, trying to get a little bit better entry and try to make a move off the corner. He might have something if he continues to do that.
Yeah, he's trying to find something. And what I'd like to do in 3 and 4, Jared, is move up the track and cut it down on exit and get a big run when I'm trying to pass someone.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I can't disagree with that at all.
There we go, down into 3.
You just feel like it's imminent, right? But it isn't happening. It's like you're waiting for something to materialize, and it just isn't.
Just two guys doing a great job, not making mistakes. You've seen Reiner graze the wall. That's the difference between them and Reiner. One mistake, Jared.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You're 100% correct. And the one mistake that Darren Bruce is kind of regretting is getting on off pit road too slowly, right? Jeff Ward was electric, and it's kind of cost Darren Bruce that opportunity because I think Bruce is actually maybe a little bit better than Ward at this point in the race, but he just can't find a way around right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that advantage, I mean, we're at that point in the run now where it's usually, in the other runs in this race, Ward started to separate. That's not happening here as Martin hits pit road. So Jason Martin late here making a pit stop. This is unscheduled.
Yeah, tough night for Jason. I think he had a great run going, but that car has just gone away from him over the last few runs here.
Now, Jared, is it possible that both Ward and Bruce are running the tires off of this thing? Because it looked like Reiner just beat them last time by.
Well, I think there's you have to at this point. I mean, there's no saving anything at this point, and I think Reiner would have been in the conversation had he not hit the wall, right? So he's going to have to make up a lot of time. It's not easy to make up the amount of time he's behind.
It is not, but he is making it up. I mean, don't sleep on Reiner. These two continue this torrid battle up front. You see the cars are starting to get a little wobbly here. Again, Reiner faster than our leaders. Adam Recker also showing some speed with a 31.87 that time by.
I think it's going to be too little too late for Recker. I mean, we got 22 to go. He might be able to catch back up, but I just don't think it's going to happen. But I think right now this battle is between these top two and maybe Bryce Reiner if he can get back up there.
Oh, and it looks like Brian Helm going to go on to pit road as well. I don't know what's going on with these mid-race pit stops, but these are unscheduled, unwanted pit stops. That moves Jason Spear into 9th and the Toad Man temporarily into 10th, but Edward Kane makes a move. How about Kane back in the top 10?
I can't imagine that these guys are going to run out of fuel. They should be able to do 40 laps, and we've had that much on the tank. I mean, they're going to be close. A couple of these guys are definitely going to be close, but I don't think there's going to be any issue of completely running out of fuel.
They might have underfueled, Jared.
That is the only thing I could say is that they might not put enough fuel in the machine, thinking they get another caution. And that could be why we're seeing Ward here. I mean, 43 is the edge of how much you can go. So maybe Ward is just trying to save some stuff up here.
I mean, we've seen guys do 45, 46, 47.
That's true. That is true.
So I really don't know. It seems odd. Ricky Williams back here battling Kulikowski. That's a battle for 14th right now. Looks like Williams going to hold him off for now. Back up to the lead we go. Ward still holding off Bruce. And I mean, he's really opened it up now, Jared, a whole car and a half length.
Yeah, he has. And I think that's where you're starting to see that Darren Bruce machine start to just struggle just a little bit. Bryce Reiner is catching back up, though, Dean. He is back in the picture.
Yeah, he is still the fast man out here amongst our top three. So has the 14 played his cards right? I mean, 18 to go. There's enough time. He's closed enough distance. He's in this thing.
Yeah, but the key is he can get there, but can he make the pass? That's going to be the crucial thing.
That's what bumpers are for, Jared.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know why I talk like this, folks. I'm not a guy who condones that type of racing, but it's always an interesting thought, right? I mean, if you have this situation, they're so even. Do you move a guy in corner 4 on the last lap?
Well, we saw it last week, right? There was the opportunity there, and they didn't do it. So, I mean, you got to ask yourself that question. All these guys, except for Ratliff and Ripka, are really here for the wins, right? The points championship is pretty much between those two drivers. The second half dash is down, pretty much Ripka's to lose. So these guys are just out here trying to win races, and that's what they're going for, I think, Dean.
Yeah.
How much do you want them?
The one thing I would say is race car drivers have long memories. Ward fairly new to the league, so there's not a lot of history with him. I mean, there's certain drivers that I have a history with that I may or may not put a bumper to.
Well, there you go. There you have it. Dean doesn't forget. I think that's what the key is there.
No, I don't think any racer forgets any time he's ever been wrecked out with a good race car.
Right.
I mean, I go back. There's certain people I drive with. I talk about wrecks from 5 years ago. You just never forget them. You might forgive, but you don't forget.
Oh, I don't think we've ever had any problems. There's none that involve me. I know that for a fact.
Obviously, that is incorrect, folks. A flat-out bold lie from Mr. Carr.
No way.
Seems to me there was a lap car that I got tangled up with one.
Here we go.
And Reiner has disappeared. Oh, he's back. So Reiner, temporary connection issues at the line.
But Bruce has just fallen off the back. Ward has opened this up, and Reiner is there on Bruce. I think that this is going to be the battle for second. Wrecker now putting a little bit of a heat on Greg Ratliff for fourth.
Yeah, the battle for the race win right now, it's Ward against the track as he has that long runability. 14 laps remaining. Greg Ratliff in fourth with Wrecker chasing. Behind him, you have Jason Jackson and George Leal going at it. So these two battles heating up.
Yeah, unbelievable how this race has transpired here today. Well, Wrecker looking hard on Ratliff for fourth position.
Jared, when you look at someone like Jeff Ward and you think about how he's able to pull away at, say, lap 20 or whatever lap it is during a run, is that a lot from leading or how you're driving the car or a combination of both?
It's a great question.
I guess is kind of what I was saying with the leading.
Well, part of it is he has that clean air advantage, right? So with that clean air, you're not putting as much heat on those front tires. The car is able to glide itself in a little bit more. Yeah, when you have somebody on your bumper, it does take the downforce off the rear, but that actually, it just loosens you up just a little bit. It doesn't affect you as much as it does when you're trailing somebody. So that's one part of it. The other part of it is, it's all about how you attack the first 5 laps. A lot of people, I've tried to tell people this for years at this point. If you drive super hard and I don't mean like fast, I mean super hard, which means you're wheeling on that car, you're kind of jerking it to where it needs to be, you're not being smooth. In those first 5 laps, these tires will wear in a certain way that makes it really difficult. As you see Brian Helm deeper in the field, he's cutting through. He's a lap down, but he's cutting through this field and almost got pinched off there. Could have had a wreck, but yeah, I think that's part of it. I think Ward is just really smooth and was able to conserve his stuff just a little bit better than Bruce was. And the difference was because Bruce was the trailing car, so he had to fight the car a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, that's standard stuff there. The second car is just going to put more abuse on that right front than the first car. Here we go, though. Helm, I mean, did he pit stop on purpose thinking, there's only 9 laps. There's nothing he can really do from here, but he is carving up the field. Ward has opened up a 0.3 second advantage to Bruce, who's kind of stabilized here. So Bruce might have found a little something here late. I don't know if he can get back up here to Ward, but he is closing, Jared.
He is closing, but I think it's done and dusted. I don't think there's any way that, I don't know. Ward has lost a lot of pace.
He really has. Is this Jeff Ward trying to, I don't know, milk gas or just manage his car? Because all of a sudden, Bruce looks like he's much faster than Ward.
Well, I just wonder if there is a fuel mileage issue here. I can't imagine it. We kind of briefly touched on it, but I guess it could be at play, but I don't think it's at play.
Well, it could be a matter of, trail braking versus no trail braking, right? You could really burn a lot more fuel doing that.
But Bruce is coming back here. Did he save just enough tire in that little last run there?
I mean, Reiner's coming back too. 7 to go. All of a sudden, I don't know. I mean, you got to think maybe Ward is playing a little possum, trying to save his car, but this is tightening up. And now Helm's going to come up here and interject himself into this. And he's going to go around the outside, which is going to really hurt Bruce. And he's going to hit the wall to boot. But I'm not really sure with 6 to go why Helm would interject himself up here, but it's race cars, man. The racers are going to race, right, Jared?
Yeah, absolutely. And
you can see, I mean, Bruce still closing, but Helm is not helping him. I mean, maybe now, but he's going to get by Ward so quick it won't even affect Ward, or is he? On exit,
no,
Ward is going to be affected now.
But Bruce wasn't able to capitalize on it either.
No, he wasn't. It seemed like that car all of a sudden bogged down. It could be heated tires versus cool tires. But on entrance, he is so good in one. Look at how he closes in.
Absolutely. That's going to be the race. Bruce is going to have to slide up to that outside line and just try to make it stick up against the wall. And I think that he's got to be willing to go for the win, but also be willing to give up second place at the same time.
I'm noticing the 15 is faster going down the back straightaway. You can just see the 15 close in. It's not draft that we're looking at. I think Ward is lifting.
Yeah, I'm trying to pay attention here. I think you could be correct, but that lap looked like Ward might have picked it up a little bit, realized he couldn't hold back.
He's either that or Bruce slowed down. But there it is again. The closing, I mean, Ward is lifting so early into 3. It's unbelievable.
It is definitely early.
Coming down to 3 to go in the Unsung Heroes 200. A great race, Ward leading, Bruce chasing, Reiner still in it. Can anybody do anything with Jeff Ward? Let's watch him again. We'll see at the end of this straight. The closing distance of the 15. There it is, but not as dramatic, Jared. I think he was saving a touch of fuel.
Yeah, I agree. The more and more I watch that, the more and more I think you're correct there, Dean.
So Ward playing it safe with the fuel. It's 2 to go for the 89. And he's starting to open it up again, so I think that was our issue. A little further back, you got Leal behind Greg Ratliff. Jackson, there's Whitford. Kane trying to hold off Ripka for 9th. Spear and Gilly back there. Back up front to Jeff Ward. Ward really starting to open it up now. He's going to take the white flag here in the Unsung Heroes 200 one more time around.
Ward doing such a great job. He was able to take those body blows, Dean, and come out on top here if he can make it all the way back around, if there's not a fuel issue here.
And meanwhile, Wrecker is chasing down Reiner all of a sudden, so Adam Wrecker with a late push, but too late. The 89, Jeff Ward coming through 4. Looks like fuel, not an issue. The 89 is going to win this race. Jeff Ward, your winner. Bruce 2nd, Reiner 3rd, and Wrecker right there in 4th. Ratliff, Leal, Jackson, Whitford, Kane, and Ripka, your top 10.
And you look through the rest of the standings, Dean. I mean, it is tough nights for some guys back here. Jason Spear qualified in the top 5, finishes 11th. Toadman, up 22 spots. What a race for Todd. Started 34th, shotgun on the field, finishes 12th. Jacob Musial gains 4, finishes a solid 13th. Kulikowski started 31st, finishes 14th. Ricky Williams, 27th, finishes 15th. Mickey Spear, 23rd, finishes 16th. And then Brian Helm, the last car on the lead lap, finishing 17th. And you have Jason Martin, Rachel Hunt, 1 lap down at 18th and 19th. And Eric Whiting, the last car running at the end of the finish at 20th. And some heartbreak for some of these guys toward the back here, Dean. You talk about, guys like TJ Bartel that were involved in the right. Paul K. Travis, Klaus Williams, Tony Ratliff, Scott Olson, Jamie Bray, Graham Conley, Nathan Hardy, George Dibble, all caught up in different wrecks tonight, Dean.
Yeah, lots going on out there tonight as Ward dog walks it down there. Pretty nice one. I know Baron Labosco would be proud of that hood, Jared. Bourbon barrel on the hood tonight.
Yeah, it is, and I've had some of that because it is a local, brewery. So I mean, it is a very solid place. If you're in Kentucky, check it out in Lexington for sure.
You see folks up in the booth here, nothing but drinkers are allowed up here because
Bunch
everybody
of
loves.
alkies.
What's that, Jared?
I said a bunch of alkies up here.
A bunch of alkies. I mean, I have to stay sober just to keep these guys under control. Nonetheless, Jeff Ward, what a race, what a show. Let's take a short commercial break. We'll come back. We'll get some race interviews with our top three. All right, back here at the Unsung Heroes 200 Charlotte Motor Speedway. Got these great blimp shots here. Unbelievable looking place. Love Charlotte, Jared.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the center of racing for NASCAR, right? I mean, it is the track that everybody wants to win at and everybody wants to do good at. And Jeff Ward was the guy that took home the trophy tonight.
Looking on the points here for the overall championship, Ratliff going to open up that lead over Ripka by a little bit more. So that gets tougher and tougher now. Wrecker in third, Leo fourth, Bruce moves up to fifth. Newton not here tonight. A little worried about Mr. Adam Newton. If you're watching Newton, give us a shout out there. You got Spear, Beller, Person, Gilly in your top 10 in points.
Yeah, and like we said, big nut points night for Greg Ratliff as he's going to increase that gap a little bit.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, the points battle is there, but the battle was on the track tonight. One of the guys in the battle here tonight, up 23 spots here this evening, is a 14. Bryce Reiner finishing third. Congrats on third place tonight, Bryce.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to be back up on the broadcast talking to you guys after Thursday. Back-to-back P3s. Wish we could have done better, but overall it was a fun and good race.
Well, it really was. It was very interesting to see how the guys were manipulating the cars, trying to, do the long run. Some guys taking a more of a short run of approach. What was your approach here tonight, Bryce?
Well, since I missed the driving meeting, I couldn't qualify, so started in the rear, about 26, I think, and I just knew that hugging the bottom was the best way to go, especially on the longer run. The shorter run, you could definitely whip the top lane. I just didn't feel comfortable up there, especially in this car. But yeah, my plan was just to stick to the bottom and gain some spots before that first pit stop, which we did, and then that's how I kind of went towards the front.
Let's talk about the end now. You got Bruce up there at the beginning of the run, most of the run, in fact, hounding Jeff Ward. You're sitting in third. You're right there with them. Were you thinking, hey, I just lay back here, save my stuff? I mean, what was your thought process? Or were you just going as hard as you could at that point?
Both, actually. In that beginning of that run after that caution, I decided to push as hard as possible just to see if I could get around them. The bottom lane was super, super quick, like I mentioned before. I just tried to stay close to them. And then the high side, I was using just a little bit just to get a run on Darren, just to kind of push him towards Jeff. And when I felt my car go off a cliff, so to speak, because it was treacherous after, 25 laps, I just kind of, hit the wall a couple times and then kind of backed off and let them battle it out. And later in the run with, I think, 15-10 to go, I was like right there and gaining back towards them. I just couldn't do anything with it. The middle top lane was not working, so I don't think I would have been able to make a pass. And then Wrecker was flying through the field. I was hoping I wasn't getting passed by him, but, he made a good run too.
I like it, Bryce. He makes it sound like hitting the wall was on purpose there just to get some space.
Definitely not. But all in all, yeah, it was good that I laid back just a little bit just to get some clean air to the car.
Yeah, two tough competitors. You're another one, 23 spots up. Tough to battle through the field like that, but you did it here tonight. Really liking what we're seeing from you, Bryce, and can't wait to see the next one. Congrats on third here, and we'll turn the mic over to you, brother.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Love a P3. Could have done P 2 spots better, but I don't think so. But it was great. Shout out to you guys up in the booth for broadcasting every week. Um, really means a lot to us and all the people in this league here. Shout out to all the admins that make this league run smooth and very well. Shout out to DSS, Martin PC, um, and the top 3, 4 guys that made it one heck of a battle. And definitely the hurricane. Hopefully everyone's recovering well.
Yeah, we'll second that as well. Jared, that is Bryce Reiner, the number 89 here, or sorry, number 14 with a third place finish here tonight.
Yeah, I'm sitting down here on the pit wall with Darren Bruce. Darren gave it his all tonight, but he came up just 1 spot short of the victory.
Yeah, man. Glad to have a P2, but you just hate missing that last spot there.
Well, let's talk about it a little bit. So you kind of had to work your way through the field. I mean, you started a little bit further back, not deep in the field, but you had to work your way through. You were able to catch up in that first run. You got down pit road. Everything kind of cycles around. Then we get that caution. But after that ensuing caution, and then it cycles through again after another caution, you get the lead of the race. And it looked like you were able to kind of establish yourself. Just how important was clean air, thinking about how you had that lead in that second segment, and then you weren't able to get back around Jeff in that last little bit.
Yeah, the clean air was definitely better, but on the flip side of that, Jeff was definitely better saving his tires on the long run. I was able to get out, half-second lead or so and hold that for a while, but after the tires wore in, started wearing down, he started running me back down. He probably would have passed me when that, I believe it was the next to last caution came out, and he was drawing up beside me when it came out, and that's all that kept me in the lead. And then I had some trouble with the car in front of me. It missed its pit, and it kind of screwed me up in my pit, and he beat me out, and that was kind of that. After that, I just kind of tried to follow with him and run his pace because I knew if I tried to pass him and get out front, I'd wear my tires out. So I was kind of just trying to play off of him at that point, and then it turned into a fuel saving game. We was last third there, had to save our gas back that we'd burn up, so it came down to that.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you next. It sounds like that, I was wondering, I saw some guys come down pit road. We thought it was unscheduled, but it looks like maybe there was some conservation that had to go on there. Just how close was it on fuel there at the end?
I wouldn't have made it another half a lap. When I came back in, I coasted in my pit stall and ran out, sitting here idling.
All right. So that's pretty close. So
yeah, it was close.
So that's, very close. But, on that second run, or that last run of the race, it looked like you were able to really run with Jeff Ward. Did you said you just didn't want to pass him because you wanted to kind of run his pace. Did you ever think about just diving in there and forcing him to run your pace at all?
Thought about it, but you had to watch your fuel mileage. I actually burned too much fuel about 15 laps into that run. I checked it, and I was already almost 2 laps short. So after that, I had to go into straight fuel saving. I went several laps clutching going in the turns. If you noticed there at certain times, I started pushing up high in the turns. That's when I was clutching it, trying to save my fuel back. I had to do that the rest of the race to be able to make it.
Gotcha. Well, Darren, you did a great job. I know you wanted to grab that victory, but you were able to get a second place finish. I'm going to turn the mic over to you and let you have the last word on your race tonight.
Yeah, shout out to Jeff and Bryce, man. That was a good top 3 run right there, man. Love racing with Jeff. I want to give a big shout out to Scott Olson, done this new paint job for me. I really like it. It suits me well. We talked about it, and I worked 32 years in the prison system, so he gave me a little bit of barbed wire there to go on my car. And I want to say the rest of the shout out for the people up in the mountains. I went up there and took a load of supplies up the Sunday after the storm, and it looked like a bomb had went off up there. I know you see the stuff on TV, but it don't do it justice. Those people are going to be a while. They're in bad shape up there. Everybody needs to help out if they can.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to echo that as well. It's a very difficult situation for everybody up there, and our thoughts are with them, Dean, as Darren Bruce pulls in, gets a great second place finish.
Yeah, he did a great job out there, and of course, I'll put a third on that. Go help those people out. I don't think they're getting the help that they need, and there's a lot of good unsung heroes out there, and we call on you now. Right now, though, we turn our attention to the '89 Jeff Ward race winner. Jeff, what a performance out here, man! From the pole to victory lane. Congratulations.
Yeah, this one's cool. I really love Charlotte. Hats off to Darren. He was awesome all night long, battling there with him and Bryce. And man, if that last run I wasn't having to save fuel, and there were a couple things about that run that weren't the same as the other one when Darren kind of walked away. We were able to get back to him, but he was real good. And if it would have been just a flat out shootout, it could have went either way. So yeah, hats off to him. This is one of my favorite mile-and-a-half tracks. I kind of like the old configuration a little better, but this one's just as cool. And yeah, it feels good to get a win here.
Yes, sir. Well, it was a battle, like you said. I mean, we were a little surprised even at the beginning of the race. You had Jason Martin just kind of went out to a lead. How much were you, thinking, hey, I got to hold this guy off for 5 laps versus let's just let him go. We'll get him later.
Well, during the pit parties in practice, I noticed the fall-off's pretty rough. So if you get out there and run a blistering pace, you're going to pay for it 20 laps down the road. So just tried to stay smooth, and he came back to us there, was able to get the lead, and a couple caution cycles, and yeah, we was able to stay up front all night, which I think is important here, track position, because you try to pass somebody, and they're on the outside of you, they just get a run off the top and get right back in front of you. So definitely want to keep that clean air as much as we could, and was able to come home with a win here.
Yes, sir. And not just a win, but the celebration as well, right? Dog walking down there again. We've had a lot of great ones, Jeff. I'm not sure where yours ranks, but it's quality. Tell us, how are you able to even do that? Some guys just can't even do it.
Well, I would have liked to done it a little longer. I ran out of gas about 50 foot into it, so it could have been a little better probably. But no, man, just brake torque and hammer down, and just for the fans there.
All right, man. And you brought up the fuel mileage. How much were you saving? We noticed that, entering 3 late there, Bruce was closing up on you. He's saving, you're saving. Just how much and how early were you getting into 3 there, getting off the throttle?
I was trying to stay 3/4 throttle down the straightaways every chance I got and just lift early. And a couple times Darren about ran me over. I was pretty much stopping in front of him trying to dictate how much fuel I needed to save compared to what he was doing. So I'm notoriously bad at saving fuel. I've won a very select few races when it comes down to that. So pretty happy was able to do the fuel saving thing. And like I said, I much rather would have had it go just wide out or wide open where we could have battled that way. Not a big fuel saving guy, but we'll take them how we can get them.
That's right. We do what we got to do. You did everything right tonight, Jeff. Congrats again on a thrilling victory here. Another one in the books for you. Can't wait to see what you'll do next season when you're in a championship battle. But right now, stacking up the victories. Congrats on getting this one. We'll turn the mic over to you, brother. Anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank everybody that's in the league, first off, that is dealing with the hurricanes. Just echoing what you guys said about that. And our thoughts are with them, the sponsors, the unsung heroes, and definitely hats off to all of them that helped, all the people that's suffering. So thanks to Lexington Brewing and Distilling, you guys in the booth there. Thanks to RGR. And, again, we got to switch gears and get ready for GT3 tomorrow. I'm always looking forward to that, really taking a liking to it. So we'll get off here, put the F1 wheel on, and go to work.
All right. Well, work is never done for Mr. Ward. Jared, another victory for the 89 here at Charlotte.
Yeah, what a race for him. I mean, he has come out here and done such a great job ever since he got in the league and put down some really good runs. But it's not been without challenge. I mean, Darren Bruce gave him everything he could handle tonight.
He really did, and Ward had to work for this one, and he'll be working for one tomorrow, like he said, in the GT3 cars. Come check that out. We'll have all the action right here on Wind Tunnel TV. But for myself, Dean Doucette, for Mr. Jared Carr, that's going to wrap it up here from Charlotte Motor Speedway, and we'll see you right here next time on Wind Tunnel TV.